Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Journey Home Outreach Ministries online Bible study. I'm the presiding minister, Reverend Angela Faye McCarty, here to continue the Word of God. We are actually on the fifth stop of the journey, coming from a collection of poems by Sistapoochie, which is my poet name, called a Journey Home, a collection of poems by Sistapoochie. We're at the fifth stop of the journey, which is world peace. Now, excuse me, the solution to world peace was for us all to live by the Spirit, for us all to take on the characteristics of Christ, and therefore we would know how to act, how to react, and how to interact with each other. Now, when I say live by the Spirit and the characteristics of Christ, I'm talking about love, peace, kindness, joy, patience, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And we've covered everything up to goodness. And last week we went over goodness. I hope everyone had a chance to read the 25th chapter of Psalms, which talked about just how good God is. And when you read the Bible and you see the word that you should fear God, it means that you should be in awe of Him. You should have such a reverence for our God, our living God, that you're just tremble with fear. Just because He is just so great and so mighty. But it's not something, He doesn't want us to be afraid of Him, afraid to come to Him, or afraid to take part in His goodness, His mercy, and His grace. Okay, as we continue on, what I'm going to do today is give you some other passages to read and to review, and this will be the end of goodness, and we're going to continue next week with faithfulness. But to start off, Psalms 145, 9th verse. The Lord is good to all. He has compassion on all He has made. He makes no difference between any of us. He is good to all. He makes no difference in anything He has made. He's good to the birds. He's good to the flowers. He's good to the trees. He's good to His creation, which is His most beloved creation, and that is us, because we are made in the image of Him. Okay, moving on, Psalms 25, 8th chapter, which was part of what we went through last week. God, good, good and upright is the Lord. Therefore, He instructs sinners in His ways. All of us are born into sin. We sin every day. It could be, not necessarily breaking the Ten Commandments, but we sin. We don't thank God in the morning. We don't pray, or we don't keep His covenant by remembering Jesus Christ. So all of those are considered sins, and we sin all the time. But God is so good to us that He instructs sinners, which is all of us, in the ways we should go if we just seek and find Him. The good thing about the Lord is found in Nahum 1:7. That's Nahum 1:7. This is not a book that you hear about a lot, but the Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. He cares for those who trust in Him. I'm going to repeat that. The Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. He cares for those who trust in Him. And right now, as we look at the world is in times of trouble. We're in economic trouble. There's still unrest all over the world. And this is the time that we need to look to God for refuge. He will be a protector. It said, Jesus, please be a fence around me every day, all day, and protect me from my enemies. Protect me for these famines that are coming and hitting the earth. Protect my wallet. Protect my home. Protect my family. Protect anything. You can go to God and ask Him for protection for anything. And He said, as it is written, the Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. He cares for those who trust in Him. So just trust in Him. Give Him your problems. Give your problems to Jesus Christ. And let God work them out in the background. And you sit back and not worry about what you're going to do, because He said, I am your refuge in time of trouble. Moving on to Psalms 31, 19th verse. How great is your goodness, which you have stored up for those who fear you, which you bestow in the sight of men on those who take refuge in you. Okay, again, for those who have awe, who fear you, have an awe of you, which you will bestow this goodness in the sight of those who take refuge in you. So as I was saying before, if you're taking refuge in God's protection and his goodness, he says in his word that he's going to bestow goodness onto you, and it's written. And it's also written that I am still confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And that comes from Psalms 27, chapter 13 verse. The goodness of the Lord is not just going to come back when Jesus returns. The goodness of the Lord is going to be seen today in the land of the living right now. Okay, the key word is now. Jesus and the Lord operate in the now. They don't operate in the future, and they don't operate in the past. It's always now. Okay, moving on to 2 Peter, first verse, third chapter. Sorry, 2 Peter, first chapter, third verse. God's divine power has given us everything we need for life and goodness through our knowledge of him who called us by his own glory and goodness. God's divine power has given us everything we need for life and godliness through our knowledge of him who called us by his own glory and goodness. That what that is saying is Jesus is calling us by his own glory and goodness. God sees us through the eyes of Christ. Christ sees us all as good. Christ knows the promises of God, and through the divine power has given all that we need in life. Everything. Money, rent, food, shelter, clothing, anything that you need. God has said, I will give it to you. Now, a lot of people want more than what God is giving them. Well, until you are able to be thankful and grateful for the little things, he will not begin to bestow the bigger things onto you. Because everything is done for the glory of God. So if start thanking him now, I might not have filet mignon last night, but I ate. That's the kind of humbleness we need to have towards God. That we are saying that there might be much more out there that we would desire, but you have still provided for us each and every day. I'm still here. I'm still living. I got a chance to eat today. Or even if you didn't get a chance to eat today, he made your body where you can sustain a day without eating. That's the goodness of God. Moving on. I say to the Lord, you are my Lord. Apart from you, I have no good thing. And that is Psalm 16, chapter 2nd verse. I say to the Lord, you are my Lord. Apart from you, I have no good things. Which means anything that's outside of the realm of God isn't good. It's the work of Satan. Okay, without God, without your hope that you would have in him, for him, putting everything in his hands to work out for the benefit of you, you're doing it so he can get all the glory. Okay, because apart from God, there is nothing that's good out there. And as the world begins to really kick you in the rear, you begin to learn that more and more. You know what? This world doesn't have anything to offer. This world doesn't have the promises that God has given me, because God is promising me goodness at all times. As long as I find refuge in him, as long as I obey his covenants, he's going to be good to me. Okay, and then we're going to end in Romans 8:28. We know that in all things God works for the good for those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose. And we have all been called according to his purpose because we're all modern day disciples. Okay, everyone, that's the end of goodness. This is the Reverend Angela Faye McCarty, and I will be back next week to continue Bible study, and we're going to move on to faithfulness. Everyone have a blessed week, and remember the goodness of God. It is awesome. It is awesome. Be in awe of him. Be in awe of him.